Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Ron Raymond Sports Betting Podcast. It is Wednesday. It is May 24th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your Hump Day Wednesday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by bullpenpicks.com. Come and follow the top scorers each and every day. And Scott Christensen, on time 34, still our leader at 8:53. Art Kent, Art 55, is at 7:49. And yours truly, Ron Raymond, 7:25. And if you want to follow all of our selections, go to Most Follow, look for all of the pickers, click on the Follow My Picks. Then once you follow a picker, go to your following page, and you can see all their selections. Compare your picks with the top pickers each and every day right here at bullpenpicks.com. I'll come back here in a second to make my selections for today. It is Wednesday, May 24th. But before we do that, let's go to the SBI, the Sports Betting Index. And then I wrote an article today on the front page of ATSstats.com on top 10, well, not top 10, 10 Major League Baseball betting tips. And I'm going to show you a really interesting angle on the game series, game 1, game 2, game 3, and game 4 of a series. And you want to see that over-under in game 4 of a series. Very interesting. All right, let's go to the SBI to see how the favorites and underdogs did last night in Major League Baseball. And wow, to Toronto Blue Jays, after we just did a podcast on Barrios, but I said yesterday, Barrios, watch, it's hard to trust him on the road, watch him go out there and pitch a no-hitter type thing, and sure enough, he goes out there 7 innings, so so you can send me a Christmas card there, Jose, and but you know what, if you had the Toronto Blue Jays last night, that was a great win for them. And for Tampa Bay, we've been saying, we've been looking at their record, every team goes through a hiccup. And maybe this is the hiccup that Tampa Bay is going through right now. But it's a dog world, and right now, 9-6 for the underdogs yesterday, and 7-5 the day before. So on the 7-day average, you can see that the favorites only winning 54.3%, and compared to 57.1 on the season. On the over/under, 51.4% of the games went under the last 7 days. 6% went under last night. And looking at the point spread, the run line, 73% of the run line. What was the record? Wow, 11-4 if you picked the run line. It's like the puck line in hockey. And we're talking about two money line sports, right? Hockey and Major League Baseball. Look at the money line. If you're not paying not the money line, the run line. If you're not paying attention to the run line in baseball, you're really missing an opportunity to make money. Look at this day, 12-3. So, hey, that's why you watch the Raymond Report, and that's why we give you the pearls from the Pearl Box. All right, let's go to the front page, and I'm going to give you guys some interesting tips in betting Major League Baseball. Now, obviously, some of these tips are for the novice bettor who really don't understand. You got to keep remember when you came in the first time in sports betting, and I always remember, and I still get these emails sometimes. What does SU mean? Right? Straight up, OU, over under, ATS, against the spread, and that's, you just got to remember, some people are coming into the new world of sports betting, and they're just truly trying to understand the lingo, right? Money line betting, the bread and butter of baseball betting is the money line. Favorites are winning 57.1% of the games this season. Understanding the run line is a baseball betting akin to point spread in other sports, so this is what we talked about, right? The over-under, in totals betting, you're not wagering on the winner, but rather the combined total runs by both teams. It's a great option if you're uncertain about the victor, but expect a high or score lower in the fair. You ever handicap those games, and you look at the I'll give you an example. One game that I handicapped today, and I spent a lot of time on. Where was that game? It was I think it was the Arizona Philadelphia. I spent about 10 minutes on that game, and I was like, okay, you know what? Sharpen the dart, flip the coin, and end up going on Arizona. But it was just one of those plays where Ranger Suarez coming back from injury. Zach 10-gallon hat, even though he's got a great record this season, not that great on the road. He's 5-0 at home, but not on the road, but I'll get back to that. But going back to this tip, and that's the reason why I went to that game, is because if you don't really feel good on the side, there's an opportunity to really get the over-under, right? And if you get these two pitchers like that who really are struggling, then you want to consider the over. And if you get really two good pitchers, and I'll show you later in this podcast, there's one game where I think there's overvalue on the pitching staff, and I think the over is where you want to go here today. The influence of the starting pitcher, just talk about that all the time, right? I'm one of those guys. I put a lot of importance in the starting pitcher, because it's not like it was in the 90s, 2000s, where Roger Clemens, a Pedro would go minimum 7 innings, right? It's really bullpen comes into a big factor right now. Starting pitchers today are more into preserving their arms. With the managers, you're lucky if you see pitchers go 5 innings now, right? And that's just preservation for the arms, because once you get to August, July, that's a long. Imagine that you're throwing 5 days. Every 5 days you're throwing, and you're throwing 100 pitches. How much pressure puts that on the elbow, the throwing shoulder? It's just you really got to arm health, right? As a quarterback coach, we're always talking about arm health of the quarterback. Same thing with the baseball pitchers, right? Weather's going to play a factor. In fact, it's going to play a factor today at Wrigley. You see that total? I was like, when did Marcus Stroman win the Cy Young? 6.5. You only see 6.5 when you got like Cy Young winners going up, right? But the wind is 20 miles per hour wind today at Wrigley. That's why that's coming in. Home field advantage, you know what? And we say it all the time when we watch the standings, especially those A-type teams. Home favorites of 160 to 180 so far this year, winning 64.4% of their games. So keep an eye on those home favorites of 160 to 180. They are showing you the money right now, as Jerry Maguire would say. Injuries and roster changes. The one thing, had a conversation with a fellow handicapper in the industry yesterday, and I said, injuries, the line will tell you when there's an injury. The line, if you see the line and there's something wrong with the line, that tells you right away there's something wrong with the injury. And I say it all the time in the Raymond Report. I don't care who's injured, who's available to play. We can't do nothing about an injury. An injury, it's like, well, okay, you can't handicap an injury. You can handicap whoever is involved on the playing surface, right? So that's my way of thinking. Injuries are going to happen. It's it sucks for them, but who's available, and I got to handicap who's going to be on the playing field. Value and underdogs. Home underdogs this year in Major League Baseball have won 45.3% of the games. And if you follow the REM report, and when I go to the report card and I say, you know what, guys, if I ever consider the underdog, it has to have a probability, a chance of winning of 40% or higher. And I'll show you an example of what I mean. If you go to your dashboard here at atsstats.com, go to your report card and go to Major League Baseball. And then once you click on game matchup MVI, market value index, this is what I'm talking about, the chance of winning here, the cow, right? Anytime the underdog is 40% or higher, I'll give it a really strong consideration. You got 43% here for Philadelphia, 38.07. So right away, I probably, especially a C-type team, you can't trust C-type teams, right? Say it all the time. They're like an old high school sweetheart. They're going to break your heart if you keep betting on them. But home underdogs of 45.3%, those are you want to consider. Home underdogs of 180 to 200, 55%. So this year, that's really good. 180, but I think it's like 5 and 9 occurrences, so not many occurrences, but 180 to 200. That's why I didn't highlight it, because it wasn't. I like 10 occurrences or more. It's right there in the borderline of 9, but I thought this was good value to show you guys. Now, here's the thing I want to show you guys that it's really interesting figures, right? If you're into analytics like I am, you really got to follow the numbers, right? Get inside the numbers. Home favorites and home underdogs this year in game 1 of a series. So, when and that's what we're talking about right here. Series trend. Baseball is unique in the games are often played in series. Some teams perform differently in these series scenarios, so it pays to keep an eye on these trends. And the thing is, there's a feeling going into a series, right? It's like, okay, when you go in game 1, it's like you just had a bad series against, say, the Yankees or Tampa Bay, and then you're going to Camden Yards and you say, okay, that's behind us. Let's, game 1, that's a new slate. Let's have a different mindset. Let's go into this and just forget about that. A good conductor never looks behind him, right? Always looks in front. And that's what baseball teams need to do. So when they go here in game number 1 of a series, home favorites. Now, I just took the favorites for this. The home teams, obviously, because we're talking about the series trend. Home favorites, game 1 of a series, winning 55% of the games. Game number 2, 58%. And the thing I might want to do later on is go check off at home game 2 of a series after a loss. Maybe that's why it's a little bit higher at 58, right? Game 3. Now, if you're ever thinking about where am I going to make my money in those game series, it's game 3 of a series for home favorites. They've won 63% of their baseball games. And game 4, not a lot of occurrences, not a lot of 4-game series, only 18. And so far, the home favorites are winning 56% of those games. And when it comes to the over-under, home underdogs, in game 1 of the series, home underdogs only winning 44%, which is still good, right? 40% or higher. is still a good. That's why they're underdogs. Even the bookmaker doesn't even believe in them, right? So you're saying you got a chance. Yeah, you got a 44% chance of winning in game 1 of a series, 45% in game 2, 45% in game 3, and 53% in game number 4. And normally that's the game where, if the team won the first 3 games, they're not mailing in the 4th game, but the pressure's on that home team to win that last game. Like, don't get swept, right? That's the home field pressure. But here's the thing that I told you guys would be interesting. Look at the over-under. Game 4, home underdogs of the series. And think of it, right? They probably got swept the first 3 games, or 1 and 2, and they're not doing really too well. Now they're producing, right? 14-4-1. 75% of the games in game 4 of the series have gone over the total. So keep an eye on that stat later on in the season, and starting today on the home underdogs, and we'll keep an eye on that, see if we can cash in some more winning tickets. All right, let's get to the selections here today. We'll kick it off at the PNC Park. What a beautiful background in PNC Park. You see it online? If you go to my Twitter account, I posted it about 2 weeks ago. Somebody posted a picture of PNC Park, the background. Unbelievable. The skylight of Pittsburgh, the skyline. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Texas taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. You got Martin Perez having a good year, 5-1, but a 4.01 ERA. A little bit high, but I'm going to go with Texas here today. And I think they did lose last night, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go back to the computer picks. So this is all right, so go to computer, MLB. And I believe it was was it 4-1 or something like that? 6-1, yeah. It was. Oh no, Texas did win. Sorry, Texas did win 6-1. So it was a 6-1 victory for Texas. But I'm going 55% today on the Rangers. Arizona and Philadelphia. This is the game I was telling you about that I spent about 10 minutes on. I was trying to make it's like a court case. You're trying to make a case for each client. Hey, that's why you got to think sometimes. But Zach 10-gallon hat against Ranger Suarez. Now, Ranger Suarez, not a lot of starts this year. He got injured. I think it was a forearm injury that I read in his report. In fact, let me see here. Back spasms. That's right. It was back spasms. But he's only got a few starts this year. 2 starts. He was I thought he was in Syracuse. Yeah. So in Syracuse last May 7th. Actually, you know what? He pitched Chicago May 19th. And only went 2 innings. So I'm going to go with fly under the radar team, Arizona. They've been pretty good to me this year. So why not go back to the gravy train? I don't know if I'd go 58, but let's go 54. The only reason I'm going 54% is because Zach 10-gallon hat, even though he's 6-2 with a 2.95 ERA on the season, his road record is not that something to write home about. He's 5-0 at home with a 0.77 at Chase Field, but on the road he's 1-2, 5.88. So I think if you like this game, I think Philly plus 1.5. I think it's like a 5-4 type game, but Arizona. But I think the over, what's the over-under in this one? 8.5. Yeah, maybe the overs want to go. But the one thing on the getaway day, you don't know what these teams are in a hurry to get out of the park. So, and umpires, right? Got a flight to catch. So those the strike zone might be a little bit bigger today. We'll see. Hey, it's something that we've been talking about for over 20 years, right? On getaway day, it's one of those situational handicapping spots that people talk about. Houston taking on the Brew Crew, and the Brew Crew did win yesterday. That I do know. It was 6-0. Yeah, 6-0 for the Brew Crew yesterday. And Brandon Belak going up against Adrian Hauser today. I'm going to go with Arizona here. Arizona 11-2 last 15 days, 4.90 to the under. And I do like Arizona. I think the under 2 is where you want to maybe go. 55%. Now, Michael Kopech going up against Cal Quantrill. Kopech went to 8 innings. He had 1 hit last outing. But that was the farthest he's gone this year. And Chicago's going through a good run right now, right? The White Sox, you look at they're bullish. So they're either 5-2, 6-1, 7-0 the last 7 games. They're going through a good run, but they're a C-type team. And because they're a C-type team in Cleveland, last night, what was the final score of that one in Cleveland? I thought Cleveland did win that game, didn't? Cleveland, no, lost 4-2. Come on, Ron. I was coaching last night, so I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of these games. 4-2 was the final, but I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go with what did I say here? Cleveland. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cleveland. And you know what? Looking at the numbers here, it's basically 2 C-type teams, and the pitching, Quantrill this year. When you look at his record, Cal Quantrill 2-2, a 4.06 ERA. Michael Kopech, it's mostly He went 8 innings last game. Do you think he can go past 5 today, right? A lot of pitches last game. What was his pitch count in that last game? How many pitches did he make? 98, not bad. You know what? That's not too bad. I thought it'd be over in the hundreds. So, but you know what? My gut feeling tells me you got to go with like him, don't love him, 52%. San Francisco taking on the Twinkies. Joe Ryan up against Anthony Desclafani. And looking at the record, San Fran 9-5 last 2 weeks. Minnesota 6-8. B against the B-type teams. So you got B on B-type crime. San Francisco bullish 3 days. Minnesota bearish 2 days. And looking at the percentage play, I got 51.7% favoring Minnesota, but the value, I think the value is not here. I had minus 132, so the bookmakers got 155. So you got to ask yourself this one question, and my buddy Ross Benjamin says it all the time. Think like a bookmaker. If we have them at 132 and the bookmaker has them at 155, they must know something better than we do. So I'm going to side with the bookmakers line, and I'm going to go with Joe Ryan and the Twinkies. Yusei Kikuchi going up against Shane McClanahan. Now, McClanahan, phenomenal start of the year. No decisions last 2 starts. And after you embarrass Tampa Bay like that, how do you not go back to the well here on Tampa Bay? I like Tampa Bay. Kikuchi, you know what? Last year wasn't a really good year. This year, you got to give him his props. He's doing really well. He's 5-1 or 6-1? Yeah, 5-1, 4.08 ERA. Respect for Kikuchi this year, the way he's been starting. But this is more of getting embarrassed the night before and showing up. There'll be no smiles in the first innings, I don't think, for Tampa Bay. St. Louis taking on the Cincinnati Reds. I'm going to go with Cincy in this one. Even though St. Louis is 10-4 the last 2 weeks, I'm going to go with Cincinnati. Ben Lively against Steven Matz, right? And Matz has not won a game yet this year, and he's got an ERA of 5.05. Ryan Weathers against Trevor Williams. The Padres winning last night. Final score of that game was, you can see right here, it was a 7-4 win for the Padres. Somebody in the podcast loved the Padres yesterday, so congrats to the person in the bullpen who said they loved the Padres and they got that big W. I'm gonna go with San Diego today. Yeah, I'm gonna go with San Diego and the under. You know what? I was looking at the under as well, since it's 2-10-1 the last 2 weeks for San Diego, but Washington, they've been playing a lot of overs of late, so that's why I'm gonna stay away from that. But I'm going to go San Diego, 53%. And the reason 53, C-type team, right? Baltimore taking on the New York Yankees. I said it'll be a good one last night. Remember yesterday in the podcast, I said, you know what, guys? This, the value on Baltimore is there, but take them on the run line. And just, sure enough, that Geico Insurance came in the extra innings, and hopefully you guys were able to get that. Yankees right now, one of the best teams in baseball. 11-3 last 2 weeks in the last 14 games. 9-4-1 to the over. Nestor Cortez Jr., the stash, is going up today against Tyler Wells. I'm going to go with the Yankees here, 56%. The Tony Gonsolin against Atlanta Braves. And Gonsolin, you know what? Since he's been back, he had a bit of an injury last August. He's only allowed in 5 games this year. In 4 games, no earned runs in those games. He's been phenomenal. He's right back where he left off. He's 2-1 on the season. And he's got ERA of 1.13. Bryce Elder is going for the Braves. I'm going to go here with Tony Gonsolin and the Dodgers. And let's see, they're 10-4 last 2 weeks. New York Mets taking on all of a sudden the hey, we got a Cy Young matchup of 6.5 as a total. I when I saw that, I almost fell off my chair. So what the hell? What's going on here? All right, 8-5. I'm going to go Mets. Going to go with the Metropolitans today, 58%. Detroit over Kansas City. You got the old vet Zach Greinke going against Matthew Boyd, the lefty, who's 3-3, but a 6.21 ERA. And for Greinke, 1-5. So here's pick your poison, right? You want to go with the pitcher that's 1-5 or the pitcher that has an ERA of 6.21. And you know what? Last night was a victory for the, I believe it was the Royals who won that game. 4-1 was the final. I'm going to go with Detroit here today. Sometimes you got to take that gut feeling, and my gut tells me you got to go Detroit here, Ron. And both teams are only 5 wins the last 15 days. And the next one, Miami, Colorado. Here's the line I was telling you when I was talking about the tips. Sandy Alcantara, or Alcantara, whatever, how do you spell that? Alcantara or Alcantara? It's, it looks like Alcantara, but you listen to a broadcast, they say Sandy Alcantara. All right, I'll have to go to a Babbel to find out, right? But let me see here. Sandy Alcantara or Alcantara. Carl Kaufman going here today. Let me see, where's Sandy? I'll just call him Sandy. Hey, how about that? We just call him by his first name. in the last 2 games, 10 earned runs. There's no way he's in a Cy Young form this year. And I think what you're getting is you're getting that reputation of last season, right? And this is where perception versus reality. A lot of, when you see the name, because remember that name was always being floated in the Cy Young. And when you see a name like that being floated in Cy Young talks, then it registers in your subconscious like, oh, great pitcher, great pitcher. Not this year, not having a really good run. 1-5, a 5.05. So there'll be no Cy Young talks this year for Sandy. I'm going to go Colorado here. And I think the over, too, is where you want to cash. I think the first 2 games of that series went under. Boston, James Paxton against Tyler Anderson. I'm going to go Halos, 59%. And, 68% on the Seattle. Hey, Oakland, man. Got to get back to Moneyball. Got to get back to Billy Bean Moneyball there in Oakland. But, I think poor Oakland fans, they got that the team's going to get rugged pretty soon to Las Vegas, and they're just playing out the stretch. And I feel bad for those players because, imagine that. You're in Maine, you don't have a shot to win the champ. Like, you played, like, what's his name there, the coach? You played to win the game, all the time, right? Frank, having a brain fart right now. But anyway, you know the football coach I'm talking. If you remember the name, post it in the comment, and I know I will once this video is done, but I'll post it. But yeah, so there you have it. That is my selections today. Save the bullpen picks, and you know what? Now that I'm bringing it's in my mind, I'm gonna have to Herm Edwards. That's it. There you go, Ron. Good job, Ron. All right, Herm Edwards. You play to win the game, and yeah, you play to win championships, right? Don't forget. Check out atsstats.com. I wrote a good article for you guys, and you want to go recap those series trends down the bottom. How game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4. Look at that, 75%. Show me the money. And hopefully we show you the money today. And if you're interested in my picks, actually my over-under picks have been doing well. Actually, I went 3-1 yesterday with my over-under picks. And if you're interested in getting my picks each and every day, you can. Me or Ross Benjamin. You just go here, picks, Ron or Ross. And you can see what we got, and hopefully, and come and get my free pick each and every day. Every day I post a free pick, so if you're interested, but better yet, why not follow my picks at bullpenpicks.com. Absolutely free to play, free to enter, free to join, bullpenpicks.com. Have yourself a great rest of your Hump Day Wednesday. I'll see you back here live. That's right, live tomorrow, 10 a.m. on our YouTube channel. I'm gonna wear my new Dave Fenley hat. I even texted. You know what? The thing. Just a little quick recap. Went to a Dave Fenley concert here. He plays a lot of like like Chris Stapleton type music and country rock type thing. And during the show he said, if you ever email me or on Facebook, he'll reply. I said, hey, great show, keep up the great work. And he replied back and was like, wow, that's why you love country guys, right? Country music, they're down to earth and awesome. All right, so I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll see you back here tomorrow on another edition of the Ron Raymond Sports Betting Podcast. Cheers.